Hello and welcome everyone, Dude Man 73 here, /DM40,000, that guy's a douchebag, and welcome back to Fire Emblem 7 for the GBA. In the last part, we were trying to help someone out with a burning castle, but apparently the guy was such a douchebag towards nomads that he kind of shoved us aside, but luckily we got 2 units out of it.
And as your continuing commentator at the moment is Wilborbish.
Yep. Do you mind being off co-commentator on this?
I could be co-commentator. I'm glad to provide some insight.
Yeah, it's fun. So.
Yep. Anyway, so this mission is probably the most important mission of all of Fire Emblem 7. And you will not know it's the most important mission of Fire Emblem 7 for a long time.
Do you mean the other campaign?
I mean, period. This is the most important mission in retrospect. Because you are heading something off way earlier.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm just saying this right now for everyone's sake. You need to beat this mission in 15 turns or less. Because you unlock something by the end of it. I won't exactly say what it is until you actually get it, but trust me on this, you need to beat this before 15 days are up. Or 15 turns.
We're not playing Advanced Wars.
Oh, I wish we were.
If we were, then I could provide some different, not as relevant commentary, but no, we're playing Fire Emblem right now, so.
Yeah, which I like Fire Emblem more, so, but I still respect Advanced Wars for what it is. But, wait, what were you saying? This was the most important chapter or something?
So you know Nils and Ninian's backstory, right?
I know it, but don't say it.
I'm not going to say it for the audience, but remember what is happening to them and why they're trying to be kidnapped?
Oh.
And you're heading it off right now.
I see.
Yeah. It's entirely pretty much based off of it's a big issue and you're going to solve it now. At least for a little bit.
Alright, well.
And when we get to that part,
And everyone will be left in the dark for 20 chapters.
Once we get to that part, I'll say, yeah, see, this is what I meant back in Chapter 7.
Yeah, well.
But
we'll get to there.
But that's a full story away, so let's get away from this for now.
Yeah, let's just go back here because we need to save this guy's sister. This guy is Nils. His sister's name is Ninian. These two are very important characters, in this story.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, so they actually have a shaman.
Yeah.
I believe I mentioned this in the an earlier part when when we first got Urk. There are 3 types of magic in this game, and the magic also has its own weapons triangle, surprisingly.
Yeah, so shamans, of course, use dark magic, and I believe this is the first mission where you actually get to fight one as the boss, or he's just a random enemy, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a boss.
Yeah, so
there are
he's the boss, he has advantage over Urk. Urk's kind of useless this mission.
So, yeah.
Against the boss, at least.
Oh, this is the chapter where you get the preparation screen.
Oh.
Alright, so for these, I'm just gonna speed them through because I think way too much on these. So, I don't know why I opened up the fucking menu that way, but I decided to bench Urk for this because I was like, he's not gonna be useful for this mission, I don't think.
And
at least I hope I bench him.
It looks like you did. So, Urk just...
Or not.
And I don't think it's also too many spoilers if I see this. Urk is another bad character.
What? No.
He's and I'm gonna be a jerk about a lot of the really good characters because the best characters kind of have some of the worst availability in the game. Urk it's just hard to use him effectively because he has the missions here, then he is a special recruit, one of the hardest to do in the game later on.
Wait. I remember the mission that he's on, but he's not that hard.
He's suicidal. is what I'm referring to more than...
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think I remember that being a thing, but that's... okay,
anyway, so
who's this hot girl?
This incredibly beautiful lady's name is Lucius, if you are reading.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Okay, so quite obviously it's a guy.
Wait, what? What?
You can delete it off your computer later.
Oh, delete it right now. Don't fucking delete it right now.
But yeah, so this is Lucius, the other really important character for this chapter. He's your light mage. Dark magic is exclusively used by the enemy in this game, and light beats dark. So he's gonna be useful pretty much for whenever we have him.
Yeah, I'll say this right now. This unit is awesome. I freaking love using Lucius.
Lucius is useful. Unfortunately, we're suffering from tutorialitis right now.
Yeah, so it's like, you can't move this guy
if
here.
You're curious, if you play hard mode, you don't have to deal with this.
But yeah, I'm not playing hard mode. I'm playing normal mode.
And
because
that will bite us later on, unfortunately.
well, you actually have to legitimately strategize.
Yeah.
Well, you have to strategize. I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm not like dancing around the issue, but I know you have to strategize a lot more in hard mode. I haven't tried hard mode yet, and I don't know if I will for this channel. But, okay, so what Nils is saying is, well, he also can do something, so he's not carrying that flute for nothing. But then again, bards don't exactly have weapons on them unless he can for some reason fight with a vulnerary. Yeah, no strength, no skill.
But to be fair, he doesn't need it. Because his special ability, he can play the lute.
Yeah, and how is that useful? Other than having something that I should definitely skip every single time it happens.
It makes Lucius be able to move again, or whoever.
Yep, it refreshes your units, meaning that they can move again.
And also, say you have a unit behind, you can actually use a bard boost to double their movement range. So you need to do some planning ahead to use these, but it means, like, say you have a Pegasus Knight who rescues a character on one side of the map. You can then use a bard or a dancer later on, they're the same unit, to make a move again, and then you can move both those units really far, really fast. So,
wait, do you get another bard? I mean in another Fire Emblem game.
Part of me wants to say that this is actually the first bard the series had, but I'm probably forgetting one in 6 or 5 or something.
Because the more recognizable class that does the same thing that Nils does is the dancer class. And I know that dancers appear often in this series, but well, I say no, in which case, am I right about that?
I mean, to be honest, as far as I can remember, this is really the first game both classes appeared. It's just Dancer managed to stick longer just because
Dancers
Ninian was Ninian was a lot more major character than...
Yeah, but we're trying to save Ninian right now, so...
Yeah. We'll see Ninian later.
Yeah, we'll see her, and we'll see her husband too, maybe. I'm not giving away anything here. I'm pretty sure that most of this has been established by the internet.
And if you're really curious about revealing spoilers early, it's very easy to find the plot info online. So we're just gonna keep it spoiler free here, just to be fair to those of you who want to wait.
And I am nice, so I don't really like having certain plot things spoiler, especially since Fire Emblem's a very story-driven game, as well as character-driven. So, spoiling stuff just makes me feel like a douche.
Yeah.
So, I'm not giving away like a whole lot of things in particular too. So, yeah, if it's like minor joking manner things, then well, there you go. So, but There's also one thing that I had with this chapter, because I mentioned before that you have to beat this chapter in 15 turns or less. I thought it was 7 turns or less, which would have been stressful. So for me, trying to like speed up the movement and trying to take this as much fast as possible, that's what I've been trying to do throughout the thing. Also, I'm demonstrating one thing that I could have done in the beginning, but I just left it on because, well, we now get a character that I really need to turn them off. But you can actually choose which characters get the animation or not. And because I like the animations on, fighting, I just left it on for characters that can fight. For characters that don't fight, I'd leave them off.
Just because they're not really big, I mean, and that's, in a lot of the games, you kind of don't always want to leave animations on, since, especially in the later 3D games of 3D rendered, the battles tend to drag a little.
It does. I even admit that to Awakening. Like, even though I love the animation for Awakening, it can drag a bit, but good thing you can skip those by hand. But I remember from Path of Radiance, it's like, it's very slow for what it is.
Oh, so one thing you opted not to do there, if people didn't notice, is though you had the option to heal Lucius, you chose not to. This kind of can make sense, actually. Sarah, to be the best healer she can be in later chapters, you need to consume a Gilding Ring to promote her. And sometimes that's not always the best option, and you want to instead opt for a later healer who starts promoted, since they're a bit more reliable in the long run.
Yeah, and they can heal and fight.
Yeah.
So, which is what I prefer, because I mentioned this before, but I really hate leveling up like folks like clerics and bards. They are such a bitch to level up.
Yeah, so saving heals for that character just to leave some healing options open in later chapters is actually really profitable in the long run.
It is, but that's why for clerics, they're the only exception as far as like upgrading units are concerned for me, because I'm like, I just need to get them leveled up as soon as possible. But it's because I just want them to freaking fight.
Uh-huh. Matthew gets pretty much what his standard level ups will be, no strength. Matthew can sometimes get a decent amount of strength and be a really decent character, surprisingly, but that probably won't be the case this run. It's an aberration event.
Yeah, we currently have 2 of Doug's favorite units on here, which is useless. I said useless. Lucius and Matthew.
Both are very big, like more iconic characters.
Yeah.
Kind of a wasted bard there, unfortunately.
Whatever. I thought it would work.
You could have moved Kent.
I thought it would have worked. I thought it would have, but no. It's like, Lynn, you moved 2 spaces. Oh well, free experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's leveling Nils up, and that's kind of important.
It's especially important if I remember right. But then again, I'm not going for those. The bonus that you're supposed to do for like, because Nils had to be at like a certain level in Lynn's chapter, because you can unlock certain things. But because I don't have accessibility to that yet, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
But I'll bring it up whenever the hell I do that campaign, if I ever do it. If I think it's worth it. But I'll talk about it later. Actually, maybe I'll be able to talk about it in this chapter. I'll see, though. We deal with a lot of mages in this one, at least more than normal.
This is the first mage-heavy chapter, and it's kind of to make you start looking at your alternative options for dealing with mages. So there's actually 3 different options the game has to deal with mages. Your first one is archers, of course, since they can do the ranged attack stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And since they do physical damage, mages tend not to have very good. That is one of your options. Main issue, archers can only attack during their turn, and a mage can just go point blank and attack them.
Yeah, and they're not exactly the most defensive of ones, so
it kind of can backfire. Second one, which is the one that really the game has in theory but doesn't give you access to, is just to counter its elements on the elemental triangle. So if they're using anima magic, dark. If they're using dark light, if they're using light, anima. Thing is you don't really get dark magic. So
you got one person.
You get one person, maybe.
It is one, but you get them in a special chapter of all things.
Yeah, so it's not really reliable. It's kind of not an option.
But, oh well.
For most of the game.
I'm trying to go for all the special chapters I can go for. Because they're all possible to get in one playthrough anyways, so...
It's not like the old Gaiden chapters. They're not as punishing to get.
Yep.
So anyway, final option is actually Pegasus Knights. So the alternate weapons triangle, it doesn't really exist, but it essentially does, is the ranged weapon, the magic weapon triangle between interaction between magic and physical. Specifically, Pegasus Knights beat mages because Pegasus Knights tend to have fairly decent resistance stats.
Yeah, that's that's one of the better things that Florina has on her besides her speed. And I mentioned this before, and I don't know if this is... I haven't confirmed this as being entirely true, but female characters tend to have, like, the better resistance stat in comparison.
That tends to be true, but that's also usually because they tend to be either Pegasus Knights or mages. So
also,
the units which tend to have a higher.
Also...
So... See,
that proved it!
If you don't believe me, that's it. Mages are completely useless against Florina. Especially later on. Florina is just gonna wreck face.
Yeah, she's invincible against those guys. So, but also Florina is currently not doing so hot.
Yeah, stat-wise. So overall, decent level for Urk. I mean, skill would have been nice, but
oh well.
For 2 stat level ups, I wouldn't complain about that one. So, the full triangle of the alternate is Archer beats Pegasus Knight, because obviously they have effective weaponry. Pegasus Knight beats Mage, because they have high resistance comparatively. And Mage beats Archer, because they can choose to go close range. It's kind of a bizarre one that they only introduce every once in a while as a thing that maybe exists.
I'm not sure about that. I
mean, it's only really present in this game, I would say, because most of the time, either Pegasus Knights are too dominant of a presence for archers to be really viable, or mages are too powerful. And it pretty much falls, since the balance of these 3 classes are kind of odd compared to most other classes, that
they exist outside the weapons triangle, so...
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But,
It's kind of a justification on how the classes were designed more than an actual difference. And in this game is probably the one game I would say that the archer portion doesn't exist. If it does exist.
Wait, the archer portion?
Since your option is Will, which he's a regular archer, and then eventually a sniper if you choose to promote him.
Yeah.
He's not really good, unfortunately, for mage killing.
You get one more that's better, so...
Roth has kind of bad stats, and he's more of a frontline fighter, stat-wise, especially once he chooses to, if you choose to use a sword more with him.
Yeah, because I know his upgraded... Oh yeah, Nomad Trooper, I think that's what it's called.
I can't...
But it's much better.
Yeah.
Well, then again, he wields a sword, so he's technically a cavalier who can wield a bow.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
So
cool.
that's really more what he's... And the final one, which is just the pre-promoted sniper you get.
Wait, when is that? Oh, wait, I think I know when. Shoot, that's a long time.
He's the last character that exists as an archer. He also isn't very good because archers just kind of suffer in Fire Emblem games in general. I only think of one or two which have been balanced, roughly.
I don't know when... I'm trying to think of some good examples, but I'm not entirely certain either.
Pretty much the only case I can think of a sniper or an archer unit in general that's good on their own would be Naomi in Sacred Stones is pretty much the archetype. And actually also in Sacred Stones, Inez, Prince Inez is also pretty decent. Really, the games where you can properly level grind archers to get over their experience deficiency, since they can't really gain kill experience except on your turn.
Yeah, so
they tend to become more viable.
So I'm bringing this up because for Awakening. This is why I don't use Virion and why I use Noir instead. But hey, that's just suited preference.
So yeah.
And fuck Virion. Just, I don't like Virion.
So, that's not that hard, to be fair.
Yeah.
The way this mission is you're supposed to beat it fast, is if Florina gets proper stat growths, you're supposed to just have her bum rush the boss and then bring Lyn over, since there's pretty much only mages here, except since most of the melee units are located around the edge of the map, which you have to walk through.
Yeah, and... Well, yeah, because we've seen before that Florina can do well on her own against a mage, so it's not that hard for her to deal with all the enemies around the field, and plus there's a couple of sword guys in there as well, so she can have the upper hand in terms of weapons triangle. So, my strategy seemed to work just fine, though.
I mean, in general, most of the early requirements, turn requirements for chapters aren't that hard. It's only once you start getting later do they actually force a deadline on you.
Yeah, I'm not the only one that I can think of where I couldn't beat any deadline was Shadow Dragon, because you had to have like a set amount of units. Also, this is going to be an interesting one. Who's this fellow? He looks a lot better dressed compared to the other villagers that we've met along our journey. Probably not important. Probably not important until later or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That character.
Who knows? Who knows? Who is this person that he's talking about, like Ellie Wood? I don't know.
No, surely he won't be relevant at all for the rest of until late in the game, and probably just dialogue. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's just be completely honest. But we were coming across the boss here. I think the way I was trying to do this is I needed to get Lucius over there, because at least he's the one who can deal pretty decent damage on the guy. Yeah, I mean, I could also have sent out Florina as well in order to do that, but Florina seemed a tad almost dead, so...
And you can only push your luck so long.
Yeah, but I like pushing my luck.
So yeah...
I don't know if you've seen this part, but I said this before in an earlier one, I let Florina die when I first played through the game. I just didn't know how to use her right. I truly didn't.
And I guess to be fair, Pegasus Knights are kind of odd how you're supposed to use them strategically. Since while they're fast, they're not fast enough to really rely on their evade to dodge. They don't have good defense. They don't have a lot of health. They don't have a lot of strength to kill things on their first hit. They're just very light, very odd comparatively to most other unit types.
They're a very interesting unit, I'll give them that, but even then, it's like I never got a chance to use her, and she suffered because of it.
And
so I just stuck with that other Pegasus Knight that you get, but... Oh well, hey, I'm doing much better with her now. At least I'm trying to get her as much experience as possible.
And that's good because it's a rule of pretty much all Fire Emblem games. If there's a Pegasus Knight, there's probably 2 others, and they have a triangle attack.
Yeah, but you can't get one of them yet.
Yep. It takes...
Well, in the normal campaign.
It's a bit more difficult to get the triangle attack in Blazing Sword, the current one. Just because... that we're watching that right now. Just because they lock the final Pegasus Knight behind a door, essentially.
Yeah, but which sucks because apparently she has one of the better personalities, but yeah, we are locked from the triangle attack until very much later in the game.
Pretty much the end, to be honest.
The very, very end of this game.
Which is sad because for those of you who don't play Fire Emblem, the triangle attack is pretty much a free critical hit on command.
Yeah, well, you just need to assemble 3 Pegasus Knights adjacent to each other, I think.
Adjacent to the enemy, so they have to be kind of triangle.
Yeah, it provides a really cool animation.
Yeah.
But in order for you to do that, you need 3 Pegasus Knights, which we don't have.
And won't have. This game is probably one of the slowest, if not the slowest, in giving you the triangle attack.
I would pick because, hell, at least in the other games you were able to have that.
Well, I mean, which has a triangle attack, though really the only game without the triangle attack is actually Awakening.
Oh yeah, but Para pretty much acts as a pseudo triangle attack anyways.
Yeah.
So I'll take Para up over triangle attack, all honestly, but wait, they even had that in the previous games?
What?
In Shadow Dragon had it? Wait, did it have the triangle attack?
Shadow Dragons has it because it's a remake of the first game, and triangle attack was always a thing in the games.
I didn't know that. Oh well.
To be fair, there's very little reason at first glance to use one of the 3 Pegasus Knights, so you may not play it because of it. Since Est starts the lowest level and really low level at that point, now Est is actually the best unit in Shadow Dragon and the original Fire Emblem because she has really good stat growths and really good everything.
So, this guy looks remarkably similar to Roy. Yeah, it's probably a coincidence of some kind.
So, though he is who that guy was looking for. So,
yeah, well, yeah, this is Eliwood.
We're gonna get familiar with him in the future.
Very much
For
so.
now, just think of him as the knight guy who just saved this girl.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he is for a couple more chapters.
He is. He appears again in, I think, Chapter 9, I think. So, but, yeah, he'll be important later. Very much so. I mean, he looks important. Just look at him. He has the striking red hair. And if you know, you have a very interesting hair color, you are important in this series.
Yep.
Well, blue hair has always been important. Well, Lynn has green hair, Roy and Eliwood has red hair, so... Unless there's another interesting hair color that I can't think of. Silver?
Well, there is... No, pretty much in Fire Emblem it's... Blue, green, and red are pretty much all of them until you reach Awakening's Robin, which, at least according to Nintendo, the default is just the white hair, so you can believe that.
Yeah, and then Fates with another color, or any color really.
Though I think they're going with black or white, for the default.
I think it's white.
I remember the promotional had white hair, but I don't know if that's the official version of the character they want to promote yet.
But we will see. I'm still waiting on a fucking release date.
It will come.
No, not in that way, Sane. Jesus, calm yourself, man.
So yes,
take a cold shower or something.
Of course, Sane would just jump in and start hitting on her.
Of course. The other dance, though, Well, we can't use her as a dancer, though, and she, well, we've already stated this before, Bard and Dancer are pretty much the same thing in terms of what they do.
Pretty much the only difference is their stat growths.
And the animation.
Yeah, and the animation, but
that's about it.
Yeah, and we'll only have, for both of them, we don't really get them together to compare overall.
Yeah, you don't get them at the same time, don't you?
No, I mean, Intelligent System in their wisdom realized that if you had two Herons on... Well, I mean, Herons is the Radiant Dawn version. If you have two Bard or Dancers on your team, it's kind of overpowered. They did this with the Herons in Radiant Dawn when they started just throwing them out everywhere.
Yikes.
They always made it so you never had multiple until the very end.
Oh, sorry. It's just like what Lynn said.
So yeah, Sane's answer is obvious. If you don't know, then it's yes, obviously.
It's obviously yes. Alright, so this is the reward that you get if you beat this chapter in 15 turns or less. I don't think you would get this scene if you took longer, but I never actually saw the scene what happened if you took longer than that. It's probably been... If they kept the scene in, it'd probably be edited in some way. But basically, Ninian lost her ring, and, well, we've overheard all of their conversation about it, and we're technically given a choice as to whether or not we should search for this ring that Ninian has lost. Yep, we're given side quests. They technically act as paralogs in a way, but like as this game is stating, is like side quests are very difficult, but then again, side quests are not that... If you do it appropriately, you'll do fine.
Yeah. Side quests are pretty much always worth doing in this game just because they're extra sources of experience, and this game really doesn't have many experience sources to give you.
Yep, so basically just do as much as you can, which is why I delegate these things properly. Okay, so that includes this part of Fire Emblem 7. Next part, we're going to take on this said extra chapter, which is supposedly very hard, as Lynn stated, but we'll see. We'll see. So, I am Dude Managed Down 3 says DM20,000.
I'm Bull Borbish.
I'll see you guys next time.